Hi again, everybody. Welcome to the Mark Few Show. I'm Greg Heister, along with Coach Few, and Coach, Season 2 of the Mark Few Show. You're a KG veteran now.
It's in dog years, though. Wasn't last year's like 7 years, you know?
It feels like that, huh?
Especially when you have Chris Castle always looking over every production.
Chris, the leader of IMG here at Gonzaga. Okay, brand new season. Let's jump back last year. The loss of Matt Bolden. I know that he was 15, 16 points a game, and he did a lot of things, but it was really the intangible qualities of that guy. How do you replace him?
You don't. You don't. You move on and you establish another identity, a team identity, and different people, you know, fulfill different roles. I mean, you can't statistically describe Matt's effect on a basketball game or a basketball team or, you know, on your program. I mean, he literally, if you think of any big player, Matt, in some way, shape, or form. It either started with him on the entry pass or feeding the post or making a big shot or making a big drive and finding somebody. So, you know, it's a tough entity, but I mean, we've lost great players before here, and to their credit, the guys after them stepped up and fulfilled different roles, and we were able to form successful teams.
And obviously he'll be replaced by the veteran players this year, but let's talk about the new guys. Who are they, and what do you think of them so far?
Well, I mean, they're just kind of getting their feet wet, so to speak, with basketball at this level. It might be how physical it is, it might be how fast and quick and athletic it is, it might be how intense it is. I mean, each of them are making different adjustments. You know, obviously the one that's far and away most ready to go, and he was last year, probably at this time, we just chose to redshirt him, would be Sam Dower. The issue with him is he's got a lot of other big guys that he's competing with for playing time, but I'm more than comfortable seeing Sam out there on the floor. He's made a lot of contributions already in practice that will lend itself to really helping us down the road. So he's probably most ready, and then, you know, depending on situation, depending on game time, depending on who we're playing or what the strategy is, you know, you'll see, you know, either Marquise or Mattis or you know, variety of the new guys.
Yeah. Marquise, what are the fans going to see? Junior college guy right away, right? So you know, you've had experience with that before. But what do we expect out of Mr. Carter?
You know, he's shooting the ball very, very well. I think he's comfortable shooting the ball. He is a good passer and a good decision maker. And he's just, you know, he's really very solid out there. So, I mean, I think that's what he lends itself at that position.
Yeah, and very big, Coach. I mean, this team, I know you've had big teams in the past, but for whatever reason, this seems like the biggest.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't, you know, my memory.
Yeah, I remember JP and Roney on the same team.
We had some big teams. We had some really big teams with Foxy and Roney and Corey, you know, and Earl Knight. Blake Steps, your point guard. I mean, we're not as big as guard or as teams. This team's not as big as that team, but you know, we can certainly, you know, we could throw 3 of the bigger guys out there on the floor, and I think at times, you know, as long as we're playing effectively, everybody's always asking, you know, well, can we do this? Can we do that? I mean, as long as it's effectively working and playing to those kids' strengths and playing to our team's strengths, and we'll certainly look to do it.
Yeah, and something that happened in the offseason, and I know we're getting ahead of things here by a year, but BYU joining the conference. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I think if you take your Gonzaga hat off and you look at it from a conference point of view, I think it's a great move for our conference. You're adding a national program. I mean, it has national recognition. It has a huge fan following. They've been very, very competitive, basketball speaking, you know, right around the top 25 the last 3 or 4 years. I don't think they're going anywhere in that regard. I think they'll always be probably right there. And so, big-time facility, and I think it's a very positive. From Gonzaga's point of view, you know, obviously it adds another stern competitor to the mix that's going to, you know, really push for championship banners. And so, that I look at that as a good thing. I think it also probably changes the national perception, which has been wrong in the past. I mean, there's some really, really good teams in the league, and it deserves multiple bids. But now I think nationally they'll look to the WCC and say, well, yeah, that's a multiple bid conference. So I see that as being a positive also.
It's good to be back talking about basketball. We'll take a timeout. The Mark Few Show continues when we come back with this.
What dares you say come hither covered with an antique face?
A couple of Zags showcase their talents on a different stage. But first, our Rada Paint finish of the week. And it comes from the craziness in the kennel scrimmage when Elias Harris gets the offensive rebound, powers into the lane for a little two-handed flush. That's the Rada Fresh Local Paint made in the Northwest for our Northwest environment, because just like in hoops, it's the finish that counts.
For free. Get your scores now.
And welcome back to the Mark Few Show. Time now for Coeur d'Alene Casino Fan Question of the Week. And it's Bill from Walla Walla who writes, Coach.
The town's so nice they named it twice.
That's
right?
very true. Congratulations to Leon Rice, and we're super excited to see what Donnie Daniels brings to the staff. Can you talk about the changing dynamics of your staff, and have there been any other staff changes over the summer?
No, there have not been any other staff changes, but yeah, it's a great situation for Leon down there. We're all obviously rooting for him.
Good friends with Leon.
Oh, yeah, and I mean,
friends.
very, very close. And I mean, he gave everything he had to this program. Families are very close. That's probably been the biggest adjustment, is just the family and the kids. You won't see quite as many little guys running around behind the bench this year. But awesome opportunity for Leon, well deserved. He'll do an incredible job down there and have them, at the top soon. I would think. Donnie, on the other hand, I mean, to add somebody of Donnie's caliber to our program was just an absolute home run. We hit it out of the park. He's got experience he's been to 4 Final Fours. He's coached under Rick Majerus, been a head coach at the Division I level, and then obviously coached at UCLA under Ben Hallen. So he's been around amazing coaches. He's an amazing coach. Incredible recruiting network, and just probably more so than that, I've known him now for 15, 16 years. Just a great person. I mean, he's got a very engaging personality, as you've come to find out. Gregarious, not a person out there, I think, that has met him that doesn't like him, and yet can really gets after the guys good, and it's good to have another voice. So it's been a real infusion of enthusiasm, and anytime you add something new, it even makes you think yourself on, now, why are we doing this, or why are we doing that, or how did you do it? And so, I mean, it's been a situation of great growth for just me as a coach, and whether it comes to recruiting, or whether it comes to practice planning, or even, I'm sure as we get into games, somebody you can really, has got a wealth of experience we can all draw on.
And you're probably not a guy who likes to label the coaches, but what does...
No, I'm not a guy who likes
I know,
to label
but
the coaches.
what does he bring? I mean, is he going to be working with the bigs? Is he a guy who...
He literally brings everything. When you talk about, all the experiences he's had coaching college basketball, it's just a wealth of experience. So, he can help with the guards, he can help with the bigs, he's been great with our defense. He's helping, Tommy and myself with the offense. Just a lot of different things. So, it's not, put him in a square and kind of this is what he brings. That's the best thing about Donnie, is he's, very, very well-rounded as a coach, and I'm sure he'll be another great head coach down the road at some point.
All right, thanks, Coach. Great question, Bill from Walla Walla. And remember, keep those questions coming, and you can do that by emailing at coach@gonzaga.edu. That's the Coeur d'Alene Fan Question of the Week. Coming up on the Mark Few Show, senior Stephen Gray and sophomore Kelly Olynyk learn some new roles this fall. What it's like to learn two separate playbooks when we come back.